Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. The one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off here to a glorious, exciting 1v1 here on Bayeux in the east. It is Use-m246, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 1st Panzerdivision, tasked with holding back the Soviets as they inexorably pushed away towards the German borders. Here with German Mechanized Storm Doctrine and Spearhead in the west is Prabuty, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Forging ahead here with the 20th Tank Corps here with Guard Rifle featuring K1 heavy tanks, Guard Rifle infantry, advanced fortifications, howitzers, and the IL-2 Sturmovik. Gunner the Mu-42 versus Conscript Dumgnees here for Prabuty, allowing to seize more territory in the early game. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my own company here, my patron supporters. Without them, the support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks to all those other people who enjoy the ranks by Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. The links in the description. And finally, just comment, like, share, subscribe. That also helps a little indirectly by getting the YouTube algorithm to actually spread the video out to more people. So, fairly swift starts here from both sides, so a bit swifter there for Prabuty. Likely the standard 3 conscript engineers into a bunch of guardsmen. Gunner Mu-42 there for use. Guessing more Gundis here soon enough. Machine gun and pioneers basically up north. We're going to do this in a more southbound mission of their own. Shots fired engineers as the Grenadiers. Up north here, machine gun there catching the engineers there just narrowly, but they do manage to dodge most of the bullets, I guess. South here, first casualties happens as Yevgeny is cut short there by the Grenadiers. More conscript arriving there to push back the Grenadiers. And second Grenadiers squad, they're a bit delayed. I guess the two preoccupiers go on the front line. I'm starting to suspect they were actually planning a sniper here in the early game versus Soviets, which is definitely a bit questionable. That said, Graham Northern victory point here in the south. Good progress as well for Prabuty. Grenadiers squad there. Good to go again, waiting for the second one, at which point, of course, it counts from a stronger infantry push towards the south here. No sandbags here for Prabuty. It's going to be quite open to counterattack. I'm actually surprised we didn't see any sandbags there. Third conscript ready, first one there standing at the ready as well. There we go, comes to the court with the two Grenadier squads here. A lot of Cow-9 TK rifle fighters, the most of the guns. Comes there, sneaking towards cover there, but Constantine there drops dead, leaving the squad one man short here in the face of the Wehrmacht. Machine moving towards the centre, pioneers backing off from the north as well, leaving the northern fuel point potentially open for a push for Prabuty if he decides to make the move. South of the country just being absolutely bolted over by the Grenadiers in the centre, comes to the right by the MD-42, unable to overcome the high rate of fire of the MD-42. And then engineers could threaten the northern fuel point here, but so far is not making a direct. Oh, never mind, spoke too soon. Prabuty there sense it. He's actually going to go for the car point here first though, which also makes sense because he can that way cut off the fuel faster and then move on to the fuel point. So we might even wire off here. Worth noting here these sandbags on the car one there. Not something you typically see here. South machine gun pioneers going for the car pump, getting flanked here by Prabuty. Some fierce and fluid action. Grenadiers actually moving in to assist the M42. Probably figuring that handing the machine gun over to the opponent is much worse. It all seems like he really wants that machine gun, so he's actually willing to risk losing the M42 here to Prabuty. That is a big question. That said, also in this case, he's actually got more points. It doesn't hurt him so much losing the point here. Yes, it's still technically connected, though. As you're about to notice, it's a bit tenuous. He still has to send troops back to deal with the engineers on the field point, though. Medics up for Prabuty. As for use, we do have the tech. We have the first tier research, or the first battle phase, if you want to get fancy. North Economies from engineers, we've got mines on the sandbags here. Basically meaning we try to run to cover, he's going to blow up. Well, his men are going to blow up. Unless Prabuty's also managed to hide explosives under Use-m246's chair. At which point the question is, why didn't it off already by now? Michigan has to retreat. Good counter push here by Prabuty in the south. Heading at a wider front, which Use can't easily defend, putting up the machine gun already so low and healthy. Takes a few lucky shots and then it's going to be wiped, at which point Use is going to have a really bad time. Prabuty goes for a bit of a surprise twist with a third engineer squad. Now that's kinda not usual. Like triple conscript engineers, normal. Triple conscript, triple engineers, actually kinda slightly abnormal there. So I'm a bit surprised at that. Not wildly, because again, like the engineers of the flamethrowers are quite good, so it might be he's just planning to go for a lot of flamethrowers here, but Still a bit surprising there. Of course, long term has some pretty strong implications there in terms like he can easily support his tanks much better because 3 engineers will get a tank fairly quickly fixed up. Like to Mechanized Company plus bunker here for Use-m246 and the 1st Panzer Division. Got mines here as well. Very consistent mining there by Prabuty. First flamethrower team on the way there. Armored car for use. Again, like, fairly standard stuff here. In the south, cop with the M14 they're going to do here. Heading northwards to catch the Grenadiers, who are pretty much unsupported. I mean, they're going to be quite vulnerable to a flamethrower team backed up by more troops. Quick retreat there from Use-m246. Unsurprisingly, because that engagement although it's just been a waste of manpower from and just, handing his opponent free experience, which is typically not what you want to be doing. Pioneers there with a minesweeper, thumbs up to Use-m246. Did go for some minesweepers there, very sensible, very smart. In particular against the soldiers, you almost always assume they're going to lay down mines, like here for example. That is, if your opponent is competent, of course, and, never hurts to assume your opponent knows how to play the game at a competent level. So getting minesweepers out against the Soviets is typically very advisable. Like, unless you got, like, specific knowledge, they're not going to be laying down mines, you typically want a minesweeper. MG42 number 2 here for Use-m246. Going to use the competent by the south. So bringing more machines to help contain Prabuty's infantry, in this case his multiple engineers, I imagine. Can soon go for the guard squad here though for Prabuty, so Prab won't be room for more flamethrowers right away. Like tank would tank out something in his base, that likely means a T-70 here from Prabuty and the Red Army. Seconds away there, but there we go, T-70 first for the Red Army. So far, I mean, Prabuty's got excellent map control versus Use-m246, controlling the fields, controlling the flow, he's controlling the victory points, really putting some pressure on Use-m246. Of course, the armored car will help somewhat, but once the T-70 hits, it's going to be harder for Use-m246 to, like, move out again. Of course, it probably also is another reason why Prabuty went for more engineers, because it just gives another piece on the playing board to grab points with. Like, even though they're not going to be doing a lot of fighting directly, they can still have an impact by just grabbing points and harassing, slowing down users' economy and speeding up Prabuty's economy. So there's definitely a bit of higher level thinking, I think, going on there. I mean, it could also be he just thought 3 engineers is really neat, but, assuming he's thinking on a slightly higher level than that, there's obviously a lot of logic to it. T-70 there ready though for Prabuty and the Red Army, the 20th Tank Corps. North here, counter-corps with the infantry in the armoured car. Bringing in more machines gun does help out use here in containing Prabuty's infantry. South here, the T-70 strikes. Southern field point there, you can see quick retreats from. Does not want to risk losing the kind of BAC on retreat. Very sensible there. Thumbs up to Use-m246. No pack 40 by the way here yet from the Imagine we'll be seeing one now. Yup. Doesn't really like. He could have tried for like a second armored car here and using the 222 to take on the T-70, though that is a fairly rarer counter. It's only one that might be a bit tougher to utilize on this map. Panther strikes just open the munitions for, so that leaves him with just, a pack. As he doesn't really like. I mean, theoretically, that's the idea of Panther fausting to death, but that requires a lot of munitions too. So pack 40 is just like, the most straightforward choice. Got the first guard squad ready for Prabuty. Thumbs up to that. I imagine we've seen the DP light machines on them very soon. Further pressure here in the north quadrant there, but there you go. There's one machine that's going to catch one part of the assault, and up north the other machine is trying to set up here. That's it, pretty risky setup here for Use-m246, and he's forced to retreat here. So the entire assault isn't quite halting. We've also got the T-70 here heading at Use-m246's center here. He's under a lot of pressure. He's almost losing the MG42 as well here, but no, the other MG42 saves the first MG42. Close call, and the T-70 does move to deal with that MG42 as well there. So fairly close save of Use-m246. That could have quickly gone very pear-shaped for him. And honestly, I think it was very risky. Like, had he been a bit more unlucky, had Prabuty been a bit more aggressive, that could have put Use in a really, really bad position. So, definitely highly risky there with that MG42. Then he probably shouldn't have done it at all. Guards were moving forwards. DP light machine guns at the ready. Pack 40 though is ready as well. The Panzer Mechanized. Good shot there on the T-70. Punches straight through the side armor. MG42 catching the guard squad out in the open, ensuring they won't be doing too much. usually going for a 4th Grenadier squad. Going for some more infantry. Could of course gone for some Panzer Grenadiers, but most of our players typically prefer more Grenadiers because with the light machine gun they are much safer to use in a sense than the Panzer Grenadiers. South here troops being fought Grenadiers. We got mines being swept at because Prabuty still has been doing a very good job mining here. And of course the mines troops are unsure. They don't quite get to do their thing against Use's men. Map control wise, I mean, we got 284 versus 500. I mean, Prabuty still maintains excellent map control and even more excellent victory point control here versus Use-m246. So, quite the challenge here for the Germans so far still. Prabuty is just leveraging the strengths of the Soviets so far very efficiently here versus Use. And Use is trying his best, but certainly he's not having an easy time. We still haven't seen a commander though. He's not taking either though. That said, even if we were to tech now, it would still take some time, of course, to get anything out of it. It doesn't hurt to have it ready on time, I would say. At least ahead of time. Even. North Mission caught off guard again here as Prabuty strikes with the power of the hammer and sickle. North the MG fortress, the countries there. More light machines there for Use-m246's beleaguered Grenadiers, promising to significantly increase the firepower they can bring to bear against Soviet infantry. Back at Prabuty's base, he could be planning to take up here soon. That would certainly not be a bad idea. He could also be going for another guard squad. I think that would also be a good idea. Mortars, Maxims. I mean, there's plenty of options here for Prabuty to pick from. So the question is just, what does he pick, if he picks anything at all anytime soon, that is. But I think he needs to make a decision relatively quick. Like going for Mechanized and Guard now, for example, could allow him to quickly upgrade the conscripts. That would obviously, have benefits. Or again, go for more guards, or just bring more elite infantry to the field now, which obviously has its benefits. I mean, there's, a lot of arguments there. But again, I think Prabuty needs to make those choices soon.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Use though continues to operate without the commander in the southeast, so approach here by Use-m246, leaving a very thin line to defend the northern field point. Quick strike there from the T-70 controlling up. He's going to block here, at least try to slow down the ceaseless socialist advance here of Prabuty and the Red Army. Take there for Use. Thumbs up. Prabuty, meanwhile, continues to float resources, I think, indicating he's a bit uncertain he's where to go. I mean, he's clearly in other ways, not hesitant or uncertain. He's quite aggressive. He's bold. But again, I feel like strategically he is slightly not quite leveraging his momentum as well as he can by not, just floating resources. I think that's definitely a bit of a mistake here by Prabuty, and one I think he should look to rectify as soon as possible before he gives, I think, Use-m246 too much of a time to catch up to Prabuty, because that's the sort of thing this can allow. So I definitely think Prabuty needs to make a decision on that soon. South side, we could theoretically see a push on the fuel point team. Meanwhile, he is making a push for the northern fuel point there, so more likely useful response to that first. So Pommerkop here, thumbs up to Use. Could rush on Ostwind to Stug. Finally got tech for Prabuty as well, the Mechanized and Guard. Very good. 185 versus 500. Just Prabuty continues this incredible victory point lead over Use-m246. Just incredible map control here by Prabuty. Efficiently run here against Use-m246. And there we go. We finally got a commander here for Use-m246. It is Mechanized with command tanks, half track, specifically the 250 version, vehicle critical repair, spotting scopes, and a howitzer himself. So technically, both players can build a howitzer. The question is, will any of them build a howitzer? Meanwhile, Prabuty here could rush out a T-34-6 versus Use-m246. That is what most players do. Some, of course, if they have a guards command with K1, so just any other commander with a K1, they of course go for the K1 first. And it looks like here with the arrival of the field gun, or at least the commissioning of the field gun there for the front line, that Prabuty here is in fact going to stall for the K1 heavy tank. We are seeing some upgrades in the conscripts, and again, as I like to say before, you could have done this sooner, so you could started upgrading, for example, sooner. Because the faster we can upgrade those conscripts with the mobilized reserve upgrade, the better, as it is a very powerful upgrade for the conscripts. Very powerful in its nerve state. Anyways, on the open, conscript caught by a lot of firepower here from Use's men. The first Panzer Division does not give up in the face of the socialist advance. Field gun there, running for Prabuty and the Red Army. This is 3 divisional field gun up north here, concentrated slowly pressing here the northern end of Use's front line. But they're being met with pretty intense firepower here as Use-m246 leverages his machine guns quite well. The South East Guard squad they're holding out. Guessing here he's planning a Panther 4. The worth noting so far hasn't gone for it. There's also the possibility of a command tank, I suppose, but I think you should go for the Panther 4 here under the current circumstances.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Of course, once the KV-1 starts hitting, you'll definitely want some Stooks out, but for now at least a Panther 4 I think is going to be a good investment here. And of course, so far for Use-m246, I don't think he's got like massive reason to believe he's going to be on the receiving end of a K1 heavy tank anyways. Here is in trouble there with Prabuty's men. We got S mines here. Now it's Use's time to lay down the mines. Panther 4 almost done in the north. Gunny's been caught here by the counter in the T-70. Friedrich drops dead. Jürgen almost falls into the pixelated afterlife up north there. Mines continue to be a continuous hazard here for Use-m246. Panther 4 there is almost done, and we got a strafing run here unleashed by Prabuty on Use-m246. There you go, Stormwick screams through the skies, rips apart the ground as if that was made out of polyester? Probably not. Anyways, Panther 4 on the move there. K1 heavy tank there for Prabuty. The Clement Borishlov at 1 heavy tank. Though by 1944-45 was more, I would say, comparable to a medium tank. Except, I suppose, weight. Panther in the conscript shoots and misses. But it was used as a sort of heavy tank, though by 1944-45 they pretty much been all replaced by the KV-85. North here, Panther catching the conscript with the northern compound once more. Use finds his field supply cut off here in the face of Prabuty's daring raiders. We got 172% 440. So at least he's slightly closed Prabuty's lead a bit, but it's not by a lot. In the south, you can see Prabuty making excellent use of the T-70's ability to grab points. Thumbs up there. K1, they're almost done. There we go. Clement Borishlov, 1 heavy tank. Fun fact about Soviet heavy armor: they had this thing on the rear there that showed a machine gun. Feature I think only shared otherwise by the entire war Japanese tanks. So little fun note there, of course, was to ensure the infantry couldn't creep up from them, you know, through blind spots like that. So little fun fact there. Panther 4 caught with the field gun, great shot there for the side armor. K1 racing 48. Guardsmen taking nasty losses, Grenadiers taking nasty losses as well there. Losses piling on both sides up north here. Fresh push by Use-m246 of northern points. Decides to back off. South the engineers caught by the M42. The engineer opposition has been loaded. Thumbs up. Bit risky setup for it though, but can actually do some damage to the T-70. I think he realizes that's not going to be worth it. Another pack 40 for Use-m246. Makes you wonder, is he going to plan to like stall straight for tier 4 now, or is he just like, you know, feeling intimidated by the K1, but he actually wants to bring in a second pack 40 to increase his chances of dealing with it fast. And Prabuty is bringing another anti-tank weapon as well. That is his second CIS 3 Division field gun. Ready to challenge more German armor and, of course, support weapons infantry. North the conscript pushing forward to the car on the armor car. Betching 2 spotting scopes they're added. Ripping apart here. This attempt to rip apart there. Prabuty's infantry got a strafing run unleashed here by the Red Army on User's men, and there you go. Doing some damage here, but ultimately failing to kill anyone. Don't worry, Dimitri, I didn't miss. That was a warning shot. It went right through them, and they survived. What kind of warning shot is that? Accidental. Norfolk is retreating. K1 on the move here, straight ahead for the Panther 4. Panther 4 bounces, got a tag weak from there lined up. Thumbs up, great shot on the K1 heavy tank. Panther 4 as well there. Good chance that Prabuty could lose his K1 heavy tank. We got the field gun thing, but they could try and bombard here the field gun. Or the Pack 40, I mean. Silence that one. Looks like that is perhaps what he's planning. We're going to try and take out the Panther 4. Either way, it looks like it may not be necessary, so the K1 might just be able to escape if we got the second pack 40 moving in there. K1 there. Dodges a shot there. Close call though. Very close call from Prabuty. Will use pursue with the pack 40s. Looks like that is exactly what he's doing here fearlessly. He sends the anti-tank guns after the K1 there. Prabuty clearly not expecting that devious German move there. Matisse in this case giving away there the ruse. They almost lose the T-set in the process. Almost got the K1 only just the narrow bit of repairs to ensure that the K1 did not get turned into a combustible oven. Back here at base for Prabuty, nothing further happening. Likely Katyusha will sort of go by the typical serve metagame choice at this point, but calls to be like another K1 or the H5 here versus Use. That's what he's planning next. Could go for another Panther 4 here, could go for Stews. You could also go for the command tank. I think that could be a fairly good investment here for him. I think that could be a fairly good investment. We got 150 versus 420 feet. Uses map control is starting to look a bit better versus Prabuty, a bit more, well, actually there. So that's good there. That is good. Bringing southwards, grabbing a point here. Panther 4 there. Good to go. Howard's up here for Use-m246. The Leichte Feldhaubitze 18. Interesting choice there. But obviously does mean he will have some artillery support versus Prabuty. And will certainly hurt the field guns being catched in the right position. So not necessarily a bad idea, just a bit surprising. So we don't see howitzers that often in 1v1 matches. Once we're caught with the info 2, uses a setup there, prevents Prabuty from making like an easy push there. He's going to need artillery support of his own, mortar or his own howitzer, honestly. He could of course also go for the Katyusha here. Most likely will. Meanwhile, the howitzer is still some time to go here, but it is close to being done here for Use-m246 and the 1st Panzer Division. And combined with the K1. North, they're going for the northern victory point. They're looking to deny the Germans the victory points. Possible resource in the south here. Comes with the grenades, more squads arriving here. The situation in the south for Prabuty is looking a bit tricky there, a bit sticky. In the center there, German troops repositioning up north here. Comes was caught by the info 2 up, pinned down to the ground there. Screaming for sweet mercy. As for Prabuty, another air raid unleashed. On the northern machine gun once more, the aircraft gunner is not having the greatest luck. K1 the game about with the 2 packs. Got veterans feeling one of them. And then go the K1 heavy tank is rapidly sent packing once more here. And we do get the Katyusha rocket launch here for Prabuty, almost, well, more or less expected. We also got the howitzer flying away here on Prabuty's positions, hoping to kill something. But so far the shots are pretty much just kicking up dirt. And sending that into the air rather than, you know, sewed infantrymen. Katyusha halfway done, northern point now being seized. And now tier 4 here for Use-m246 and the German army. Gonna move for the bigger stuff, I suppose. We'll have to see what exactly bigger stuff is here for Use-m246 Prabuty. K1 on the move here, infantry forwards, Panther 4 there, holding back in reserve. Clearly not willing to commit here in case of field guns setups there. We've got 2 calls out there for them. Up north here comes with the armoured car here. Howitzer's got a bit more to go for and find another volley here at Prabuty. Rocket fire here on user center position. The Katyusha, of course, being very good at detecting German troops there. Field guns on the move here. Prabuty launching a fairly comprehensive attack on the center here. And developing it to the southern push as well here. Pretty much forcing use of the center south by the looks of it. Double screens was the Panther 4. Note he's created like order to fire that way, won't fire back at Prabuty's forces, that way giving away its position for another series of shots from the field guns and the K1. So thumbs up there to use. Very sharp there, very sharp. Constantly was the MG42, quickly pinned down to the ground here. We got ace level on that one. In fact, we got ace level on both of the Use-m246's MG42. Excellent work there. North Armored Car, they catch the country guards once more tries to probe the northern front as well here. Prabuty definitely feeling a bit greedy in some respects, perhaps. So firing again. So far, I'd have to describe his artillery barrages as perhaps a bit optimistic. South here, T-Sims the Gunleys snapping away. And up north, you can see there, though, Prabuty's once more sense weakness here from Use-m246 going straight for the cup. And there you go, Panzer IV strikes for Deutschland. Oberleutnant Wilhelm there strikes at the Soviets and sends them packing. Threatens to wipe the guards wall there by running though, but Prabuty senses where things are going, quickly retreats them. Thumbs up. Panzer IV with 9 kills. Back at base, while we have the tier research, he's yet to build it. Got new space here with the K1 heavy tank. Katyusha in reserve as well. Ready to unleash another volley here against Use-m246 and his merry band of Germans. Howitzer there, it's going to take some time to get ready. Company called here, and we see Sergei there getting blasted apart in the south. Another push here by Prabuty, the K1 spearheading the effort here against Use-m246 and the 1st Panzerdivision, 5th Panzergrenadier Company. Grenade research there for Prabuty. Opening up for both Molotovs and anti-tank grenades. Could definitely give him some crucial boosts here versus Use-m246. Map control wise, things all slipping out of control here for Prabuty. Big 2 points wise, in fact, Use at this point has managed to close the gap fairly well, and still there's a bit more to go, but it is much smaller than it used to be. That certainly also adds more pressure here to Prabuty versus Use-m246. K1 they're getting hammered once more. Another target weak point, they're getting heavy damage. Katyusha fire though is raining down death. Most of the rockets though are fortunately for Use-m246 kind of heading off mark here. Very fortunate for the German player. I imagine very frustrating for Prabuty and the Red Army. Gives the advancing conscripts. You're seeing an east level opening up into the advancing Stalinist troops. And we got the Howitzer firing again here. Will he be able to land a hit this time around? The answer to that looks to be 9. I mean, he's so far. Seems like his one was just kind of trying to hit this spot and just hope something is there. Milan car Panther ready. Could go for another Panther soon. Of course, he could also build a heavy Panther core. Guessing a Sturmpanzer, maybe a Panther. Of course, he could also go for a Panzerwerfer, but at that point, why did he then go for a Howitzer? That's what I attempted to inquire. There you go. Finally got a kill with a Howitzer. Borders there, drops dead. In the center, you can't tell up the MG42 8 load, and of course, got the Panther 4. There you go, another strafing run here from Prabuty on Use-m246, sending the machine crew. They're hurrying back to base as the Soviet Air Force once more ends up not achieving too much. That's got to be a bit demoralizing there for Prabuty. Yeah, no sign of what is being planned there as of yet. No sign. Will it be a Panther? Will it be a Sturmpanzer? Will it be the twist of surprises there? The Panzerwerfer. Film Valley here, the Gunleys catching that in the open here. Panther 4 gaining to engage the K1 tank, which also gains basically at the same time. That's a coincidence, isn't it? But the pack forwards there are pummeling away at the K1, forcing Prabuty here to withdraw the K1 heavy tank rather than risk losing it to the Germans, which at this point would be pretty much game over. I think Graham Northern big 2 point there with the Guardsman in the centre. Another push from it. Attempt to push forwards is stopped violently by using 6 machine guns. Prabuty is definitely strong to like land any bigger impact on Use-m246. Part I think is he's perhaps a bit too focused on the centre, but also at times a bit too passive. And I think Prabuty might want to start looking for like alternate axes of attack here versus Use-m246 rather than just constantly attacking head on. when he's being snapped with the T-70. So conquering multi with info 2, push back. And we got an barrage into the base here. Use getting kind of green. There we go. Holy smokes, it actually paid off. That is a lot of kills. Might even lose the Katyusha with a bit of bad luck, or get kill it with good luck. Holy smokes, full wipe. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. A real slap across the face here for Prabuty. He is raining Vision's blood. Mom spaghetti. Anyways, easy backed up at the K1. They're pushing forwards here, but the Grenadiers holding line here. Pack 40 minutes will here to stop the armoured element here of Prabuty's centre-bound assault here. As the 20th Tank Corps once more tries to assail here the front line of Festung Europa. Strafing run again here. The Red Army Aviation once more unleashed against the Germans. And once more doesn't really do a lot. Like, he's spending a lot of munitions on this, and so far it's not really too bad. And there we go. KB1 heavy tank knocked out. We get to see any sort of armor. There we go. Katyusha also about to get knocked out here. A sundering blow here from Use-m246. Just slicing through here Prabuty like a hot knife through butter. Feelings are firing to the Panther 4. Still, the deal is done, and now Prabuty short not just the K1 heavy tank, but his Katyusha rocket launcher. And a contest one. In fact, he's lost another one at some point as well. Casualties are rapidly piling on Prabuty here. In an incredibly short and violent time span. Quickly, comrade, bring me up 5th company. 5th company is dead. 6th company also dead. 7th? They got lost somewhere around Minsk. Ah, we are. Quick rock grenade there. Right into the guardsmen, turn them apart here. Field guns in reserve here. Surveying the battlefield, but overall not looking to get for Prabuty now. Like, he really had the lead for quite some time, but I think wasn't quite able to fully exploit it. And I think Use was able to deliver some really good counter-thrusts here and ripostes against Prabuty, slow turn the game around in his favour. And he's actually using the airburst barrage there. Interestingly enough. It has, I think, larger sort of area, but does a lot less damage, so it does suppress. I'm not entirely sure if it's good or not. It looks neat, I suppose. It's looking pretty awful here for Prabuty. Pretty awful. And there you go, the film's been caught up with the armored car and the Panther. We've got a blitzkrieg maneuver here, quickly looking to outpace the field guns, shut off their attempt to retreat here and then destroy them, at which point I think Prabuty will be soundly defeated here by Use-m246 and the German army. He's almost got both of them there, just a bit more to go, and Prabuty will be in a really, really bad place. And I'm not talking a gulag somewhere in Siberia. There we go. GG, game over. Loss for Prabuty. A victory for Use-m246. A fierce fight here with a lot of back and forth action. But again, in the end, yeah, I think slightly lost out of the battle there around the center point. And I think sort of, I think too caught up in Use-m246's pace. I think too much. That said, it also the howitzer really landed some great hits here, combined with some good armored assaults. I think that further destabilized Prabuty, and Prabuty just wasn't able to, I think, catch up here. I think also Prabuty should have, like, committed hard to his command, like either more K1s around the Katyusha, or maybe at some point more guardsmen. I also think a mortar, even like a howitzer, would also been a great investment here. So either way, though, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.